Hey, I just want to make a quick video. Uh, I just want to talk about an important subject that I always talk about. I mean, I used to not talk about it when I was young, but as I got older and I continued to watch quarterbacks through the years, I realized something about them. Okay, let me tell you this. I'll just start out with this statement. It's always better to throw the ball than to run it. I'm not talking about running it with the running back. I'm talking about the quarterback taking off and running. Because think of it. If a quarterback runs for 100 yards, that's considered a great, miraculous game, right? But if a quarterback throws for 300 yards, that's not even historic. That's not even that great of a thing. It happens a lot. See what I'm saying? So, one of the reasons that a lot of these quarterbacks that are coming into the league have that fail, especially, and it's not nothing against them. You know, the more you work out, the harder you train, the better you'll know how to run. But these quarterbacks that are athletic, because everybody's always telling them, look, you're athletic, dude. You can take off and run that ball like a motherfucker, you know. But it's almost always 100% of, like 99% of the time, better to throw it than to run it. See what I'm saying? That's why, like these teams that are really great, they have a quarterback that can throw the ball really good, but he can't run for shit. Like Tom Brady and the Patriots. Probably the best quarterback in the league. Peyton Manning was the best quarterback in the league, and he couldn't run for jack squat. In fact, it's so much better to throw the ball that it almost behooves you to be an out of shape guy who can't hardly run at all, who is totally inathletic. Even though that's not your own doing, you look at these quarterbacks. Look at Michael Vick, right? The greatest running quarterback, arguably, to ever play the game. And he got at the end of his career where he couldn't even get a job as a starting quarterback. And it's not his fault. He was a talented guy. He may have been more talented than Peyton Manning. But he had this. But see, the thing about him is he thought in his head, oh, I'm super athletic. I can just run the ball, like. As great as he was, even at the height of his success, if he would have been a great thrower instead of a great runner, he would have been better. You know what I mean? So, all of you young quarterbacks out there, just remember it's better to throw that ball than to run it. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, though, I kind of want to expand on this, but I don't want to make this video too long. But, so just think about that. Just, that's how Russell Wilson has, Russell Wilson battles his demons, dude. You got to battle your demons, especially if you're very athletic, because people are going to be telling you to run it all the time. You have to say, no, I'm going to throw it. I have to throw it before I run it. Like Russell Wilson, you don't think he could take off and run the ball all the time and get some yards? Yeah, but he tries to stay in the pocket as hard as he can and throws it. And he's a good thrower. So I'm saying that's the difference in Russell Wilson and I'm trying to think of a guy. Not that this guy isn't good, but that's the difference in Russell Wilson and like Cam Newton or something like that. Cam Newton loves to run it, or we'll say Russell Wilson and somebody who's not as good but is just as athletic. Russell Wilson or Tim Tebow, right? Russell Wilson and Tim Tebow, they both can run the ball, but Russell Wilson can throw, Like, it's just a simple idea, but when you look at the stats, things are so in favor for throwing the ball. Quarterbacks average 200 and something yards a game. If a running back ran for 200 yards, it would be a huge deal. See what I'm saying? And especially if a quarterback ran from the pocket, from the quarterback position for 200 yards, it would be a huge deal because it never happens. See what I'm saying? It's just, way more successful to try to throw the ball. Anyways, though, I didn't want to make this video too long, but just my opinion on, you look at these teams like the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, the Patriots with Tom Brady. As great as Cam Newton can run, really the only reason why they have success is he can throw the ball pretty good. He can throw the ball half decent. I mean, that's probably an understatement, but you know what I mean? As great as he could run, if he just stopped throwing the ball and just took over the ball and decided he was just going to run it every time, their offense would be trash. They would be no good. And that's Cam Newton. He's probably the best running quarterback in the league. See what I'm saying? Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Anyways, though, that's my video. Thank you very much. Bye.